Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the cosmos and creation you may be. I'm Rocken, Larry Locken with Pleiadian Express Productions here on Pleiadian Talk in our continuing series on the Munay-Ki Rites, the Munay-Ki Rites. We're going to discuss Rites 5 and 6 today and recap Rites 3 and 4. I've got Natalie Alaya joining me again. She's a shamanica, a healer. She wears many hats on Facebook. Most listening will definitely know who she is. And Natalie is also going to recap the third and fourth rites. Welcome back, Natalie. How are you doing over in Ireland, girl?
Thank you, Larry. Pleasure to be here. Yeah, I'm doing great. It's been a busy day, but I'm settled down and ready to talk to all of you.
That's awesome. It's been a busy morning here. Well, not really. I'm just drinking a cup of coffee that Sif made me, and she's knitting, and we're just chilling. It's still about 11 a.m. here on the west coast of the United States. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing you kind of just recap the third and fourth rites, and I'm really excited hearing the rest of this. So, yeah, let's just flow with it and go.
Okay, cool. So we did the third rite 2 weeks ago, and that rite really kind of knocked people out. It was more tiring. It's a longer rite because you're connecting to power animals in each chakra. So you have the 4 power animals, and then you had the 3 keepers of the middle, the lower, middle, and upper world archetypes that you were connecting to. And you don't have to start, you're supposed to do this 2-week of meditation with each archetype, taking 14 weeks. You can wait to do that till you're done with the rites, or even whenever, 6 months. There's no kind of time limit, that, you have to do this right away.
Or in order necessarily. That's what I really like about this, and I'm glad you reiterated that to people. People get hung up in the fact that they have to do this like a course, or there's a certain time limit, and really they can do these at their own will and bounce around, actually.
Mm-hmm. You may want to start with the fourth one. Maybe you feel like a lot of your issues are heart chakra issues, so you want to start with the hummingbird in the fourth, or which one? Sorry, no, it's eagle. Sorry, eagle and condor in the fourth. You had an experience with eagle, didn't you?
Yeah, I had actually a bald eagle fly by the other day. It was the day actually we were taking those photos that I posted online, that Sif and I posted, the UFOs and the interdimensional beings in the clouds. And yeah, we do have bald eagles up where I live, but I don't see them all the time or really pay attention. But I did have one fly by amongst the many birds that usually do. I've been seeing more like hawk-type birds with outstretched wings, too. We've noticed that. But I did have the opportunity to see a bald eagle fly by a few days ago.
Yeah, I'd love to see a bald. I've yet to see a bald eagle.
Really?
Yeah, well, where I lived in the Midwest before moving to Ireland, it was kind of different kind of birds. And then in Ireland, they do have some, but they're probably more up north.
Mm-hmm.
And here it's more crows, ravens, a few hawks, and little songbirds.
Yeah, we have a lot of that too, and I think Oregon is really good as far as the bald eagle laws go, as far as hunting them. A lot of people in America, for some reason, felt the need to hunt these birds for a long time, and with the laws that have been passed, they're getting more and more prevalent again in some areas. So, I hope it continues. Yeah, and everybody.
And actually, just to make a point too about because I use feathers in my practice, is to get them from that the feathers should either be found by you if you're lucky, or buy from someone that you know that they're finding and that they're not killing the animal for the feathers.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you find one, it's definitely a godsend, and I would encourage somebody to take it and treasure it.
Absolutely. So yeah, the third rite was a bit heavier, I think, but again, it just was more complicated. I was tired after the first 3 rites on the Monday. I transmit the rites on a Sunday using Reiki to transmit them to everyone in the group. And I've been kind of exhausted on Monday. Now, a few of the people in the group are sending me Reiki, which I really appreciate. And at the fourth rite, which was the Seers rite, was so easy.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people in the group have already done a lot of work on their third eye. I mean, not everyone in there are light workers or healers or shamans, but if you're a starseed, you're already probably going to have a lot of, work done.
Oh, totally. And it's really becoming more and more apparent as, as we go through this. And isn't it funny, the synchronicity that's abound with all this,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just so nice. And I got messages. Some people were saying that they were able to see the orbs now with their eyes after the seer's rite.
Incredible.
And actually, I was hoping, but I don't know if she's on, but there was one woman in the group, Alexis, who has been having an amazing journey with these rites, and it's been awakening all sorts of stuff for her. So I hope she comes on later to tell us.
Yeah, I would love that. If she's listening, Alexis Serrano, I would encourage you to come on. And if you're, just come on into the room. And if you would like to share your experience, I think that would be great. Are you here? Hi, Alexis.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you? Welcome.
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing great, sweetie.
This is my first time doing a Google Hangout, so I'm like, oh, what do I do? What do I do?
We'd love to hear your story. That's what I just think it's amazing. You've just had so many wonderful and really heart-opening stuff happening through these rites. So if you could just talk a little bit about it, Alexis.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God. Well, yes, I'm having like so many things happen. It's like, first of all, when the rites were passed, like I'm very sensitive, as all starseeds probably are, like to light, sound. I really sense subtle energy, but like I feel like I intrinsically felt the rites. Like I feel connected to the earth in a different way that I never did. Like it's almost like I'm breathing with the earth.
Ooh, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh my God, like I'm staring at animals and I'm connecting. I went hiking yesterday and all these birds, and I found this amazing feather too, but all these birds, like I literally I started crying because I could just feel them, and I was like, this is so trippy.
Yeah, it's actually, again, it's like about the sensitivities. When, you have a rite, it's like clearing up your energy field. Sometimes it can be quite intense because your sensitivity has vastly increased, and you have to kind of readjust to this new scenario that you're seeing or feeling.
Yes, the last rite that we did, I hike a lot. I went hiking with a friend, and I felt like I was like floating kind of, and I was having a hard time to come down to where she was at, which was just, very three-dimensional, you know how the superficiality type of thing when you meet your friend, you're talking, how's your day, that kind of stuff. Like I was just like in heaven, so it was just like kind of funny. I was just like, yeah, man, everything's like awesome. It was just funny.
Yeah, what are you on? Munay-Ki.
Exactly.
That's what it felt like. I was just like, oh my God, I'm so high on life right now.
Yeah, and isn't it a trip, Alexis, being with somebody that's totally doesn't see any of that? You're at the same place and in the same situation, but they're like so stuck in 3D. It's just really amazing.
Oh my God, it was like, holy cow, I could see, like, I'm just so excited to pass on the rites. I feel like this is a miraculous, not only just the perception, but yes, it is strange to be around people that are kind of dead. That's a horrible thing.
They're disconnected. They're highly disconnected, and it is sad, and that's like where the compassion, it's like you can't. That's where I feel that, compassion can really help, because there's not much you can do for them. They really have to do, it's a self-motivated thing. You can't really connect them.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. And I was already like this way before, too. Like, I would go hiking and be like, I'm like a 5-year-old when I go hiking. I'm like, ooh, a bird. Ooh, a feather, like I'm picking up stuff, smelling it. I'm already like a kid as it is. So, yeah, people kind of know I'm already like out there when they go hiking with me.
But you know that, like, that's like you're a natural shaman.
Oh my God, that's so Natalie. I've been trying to do shamanic things. I actually journeyed out of my body, totally terrified the crap out of me in 2003. So I think I've been like doing I've been connecting, talking to the mountains and the trees, trying to ground myself to them energetically. And I feel like my mind or something was trying to connect all these years. I've been doing this my whole life, and now like the Munay-Ki, it's like boom, it just turned on a switch. So it's like the connection is there. I'm like, this is so
yeah. Oh, that's nice. It's smooth sailing.
Alexis, you just mentioned that switch being turned on for you. Do you feel like all of a sudden more confident in who you are and just like going with the flow? You know what I mean? More so than ever.
Hi, I'm on a radio show right now. I don't think I would have done this before. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't have. I was like, this is definitely healing and opening me up, and like it's bringing up old pain and giving me a voice. And I also have always felt really, really connected to the ancestors. Like I think I kind of channel as well, but like, oh my God, yeah. But yeah, definitely.
And we were just talking on, I think it was on a post on Facebook, and I was reminded the divination I did before the rites, where it said basically I picked runes and I picked cards and I did a medicine wheel for the rites, and one of the things was that the student shall surpass the teacher, and I just love it that you guys are opening up new gifts. And I think there was a connection. I did a dream interpretation for you, and you said say that now.
So I had this dream, and in the dream, I won't go through all the details, but there was a woman, and I was like in this little alleyway, and she came with her cart of goods. She was selling ice cream, and she was unpacking all her ice cream, and I'm noticing actually in the dream that I'm helping her because she seemed like really flustered and like she really needed some help, and I'm trying to buy an ice cream off her. I'm like, let me help you, lady. So I'm helping her out, and then as I'm unpacking it, I'm noticing it's all my stuff. And I'm like, and there were cool stuff, and I was like, hey, these are awesome bags. Oh, it was a crazy dream, and I feel like, and then, there was a lot of stuff, though, and I was like, wait, why does she have all my shit? What's going on here? Like, it was
who is this person?
I was, like, perplexed, but I'm discovering, like, all of these things about myself now, and I think probably all starseeds have this, but, like, I have so many gifts and abilities. I'm like, holy heck.
Yeah, and they're just starting to open up, and you'll be bringing in new type of things and new type of information. One of the things the Cuero believe in is instantaneous downloads by people, instantaneous transmission. And you are, as if you are receiving the download, you are the teacher in that moment.
Oh, wow. You know, the weird thing is, like you were saying, a natural shaman, like, I've always believed these things. I've always had, like, these mystical understandings of life, and it's almost like there's this, like, old lady inside of me, like, like 1,000 years
old. The grandmother energy. Now you do this.
Yes, totally. But, the other thing I really wanted to share is I'm watching whatever's happening to me, everyone that's connected to me, like the rite where we healed the DNA line or our family line.
Yeah, the first one. Mm-hmm.
Whoa. So, that's, it's just having tsunamis in my family. There was some abusive person in my family that affected many, many people, many generations, and all of a sudden I got a call from a DA, and so now I'm going to court about that. My twin flame and I have been like, those relationships are really difficult.
Yeah.
He is starting to, like, have massive cathartic healing. Like, all of a sudden, like, he had this. So he's healing massively, and then get this, we both had, we were abandoned by our fathers. Both of our fathers are musicians. His dad has never been in his life, and all of a sudden he called him. Like, oh my God.
Wow. Like, yeah, reconnecting with the ancestors.
It's
and
just
you're not the only one. A couple of people messaged me and said that their family, they noticed a brother or a sister or a mother or relationships with the mother improving after the rite.
Yeah. It's just, honestly, I cry daily. Like, I'm so grateful, Natalie. I love you. I tell you that every day.
Aw, sweetie pie.
Where are you? I love you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been like, but you know what I did? I have done a lot of work on myself for 12 years. So I kind of feel like all that foundation work that I did, like, it's just like, this was the thing that's just like catapulting me into this other area. I'm like, wow, this is so awesome.
It was the spark or the switch, like you said. You'd already laid the foundation. And for the people that maybe haven't laid the foundation, you can still lay down the foundation. And maybe you're doing it in a different way, just for, that some people who are newer to healing and all this. These rites can still really help you with that process if you're at the beginning stages and haven't done any work, too.
What would you suggest they do?
I think, like, for the biggest thing is always grounding. Mm-hmm. But, grounding, like, and really walking barefoot is essential, I think. I try to do it daily. Now, in the winter, of course, it's really hard.
Yeah.
You can't always do it. But if I can, I try to go out. And part of it, though, is that when you're out there, you just start to, listen to your breath, hear the birds or whatever animals, look around you. What is actually physically around you outside? And grounding is kind of like learning how to connect with it. And part of grounding is the more grounded you get, the more you're connecting with these things. And then you start to, like, shapeshift, because that's what I think you're doing with them.
I know. I think
you're going in and out of their energy fields. And when you go into their energy fields, let's say if it's a bee or a bird or a tree, you're seeing with the eyes of the tree or the eyes of their energy field perspective.
Yes. I have a hummingbird. I have 4 cats, too, and I can sit there and look out the window with them.
Yeah. What's going on?
All day long, staring into the sky and the stars at night. Not that I would know, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, sky gazing, grounding, even sky gazing or cloud gazing is another great way. It's just really starting to tune into all the information, and not just the information on the computer, but, the information that's out there. But I'm not against the computer technology. I think the internet, is a way to, share everything too. It doesn't have to be just like a negative, oh, we're just paying attention to this. Because in the Starseed groups, we're sharing great stuff.
Absolutely, and we wouldn't have connected with each other. And I mentioned this on N5D the other night. We wouldn't have connected with each other without the internet, right? We're using it to our advantage, totally. And, you were talking about, Alexis, the things you've been doing. I was wondering if you have been doing any sun gazing, because I know with me I sun gaze, and I can look right up at the sun now, and in a second, it doesn't bother my eyes. It's really clear, and I can just watch it forever. And I think that's really incredible that it doesn't even bother my eyes to look up at it.
I always have done that, and I walk barefoot on the grass every day, too.
Yeah.
But you know what? I haven't noticed the sun thing. I should try that out again. But I used to always do it, even though they tell you not to do it for whatever reason. Like, I like rock music. I like doing things they tell me not to do. So I'm like, I'm going to do it anyways.
One of the things, Larry, going back with the 4th rite, when I was transmitting it to you guys, I saw orbs coming down from the light and connecting, and that people were, connecting more. And, like, I had Jade and someone else saying that. Now, I don't remember if I put that in. Sometimes I don't put in all the messages because it all happens so quickly.
Yes.
That it's like to write it down afterwards, it can be sometimes like, oh, did I miss that? But I remember, like, thinking like, oh, the download information is going to be quicker after this rite.
Yeah, I'm getting, as far as the orbs go, right, it's that more people are going to be seeing them, and it's part of the veil thinning a little bit, the dimensional veils thinning. And, yeah, I just think it's incredible that more people are starting to see these. I know with Raquel Toombs, she had seen them in pictures, and then she started to see them herself, right? It's just really exciting to see, and I think it's just kind of another gateway that we're seeing to the other dimensions and other life that's teeming all around us, really.
And is there anything else, Alexis? Because I was going to go on to the new rites, the rites that are going to be transmitted tomorrow and next week. Did you want to add anything?
No, that was it. That's good.
Okay, all right. Thank you for sharing, Alexis, sweetheart.
Enjoy the rest of the show, sweetie. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Okay, so the rite that we're going to transmit, or we, me and my guides, I guess it is a we.
You're still collective, yes.
It's the Daykeeper rite. And this rite, the Daykeepers worked with the stone altars all around the world. So they'd work with, like, any place that's sacred, Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, places, Mount Shasta, around Mount Shasta in Australia. There's pyramids all over the world.
Yes, all over, and yet to be discovered too. But yes.
Yeah, you were mentioning in the pre-show you had a theory about that because you're not really. I really connect with Machu Picchu, Stonehenge. I do connect with the Locken, which is a stone circle. It's the largest stone circle, but not very well known here in Ireland, and it's like about 40 minutes south of me. It's about 130 stone circles. It's the largest one. It's really magical there. And Egypt, but you don't connect with Egypt or any place right now so far.
I don't, and the theory that I have is when you mention that, it's like, and I've thought about this before about the connection with these different areas, and I don't have, I have a little bit of one with all of them, but not really any one in particular, and I think that for me, I'm waiting somewhere for one to be discovered that they'll come out with and actually announce that, okay, yeah, this is that. I feel like I will connect to that, whether it's down in the Bermuda Triangle where Atlantis might have been, or whether it's up north in Alaska or northern Canada, or wherever it may be. I just feel like...
Oh, that's exciting, because I do think there's more to be discovered, too. There will be more discoveries. So the stone altars, so let's say the shamans, the medicine people who worked with them, who've passed on, who understood the power of these altars, we're connecting with the lineage of them from all around the world.
Totally. And not to get off topic, Natalie, do you think that, because I really feel like these pyramids, especially maybe in the Atlantis Lemurian times, these were power structures that my thing is what I've got from the Pleiadians is that if we only had 8 150-foot say pyramid type towers, that would be enough to power the whole planet day and night for power, right? So these things are extremely powerful. I didn't mean to get off topic, but
no, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have like different, I've gone through different feelings and theories about the pyramids. I definitely think that they're a place of energy and power, but I also think from what I've been, is there places where you heal? People can heal.
Also, yes, and maybe portals as well.
I could see some of them as stargates. And stargates in the way that, like when I was at Machu Picchu, I was there physically, but I was hearing music, I was hearing singing, I was like being transported into different dimensions. And maybe that's part of like a stargate too, is being able to, even with your imagination, go up into those higher realms.
You know, what you just said actually gave me some inspiration to someday visit some of these sites, and you know, of course, the ones that you've been to. So it's one thing to see it on the internet or look at pictures, but you really do get a feeling when you're at these places then, right?
Oh, you do. Like Machu Picchu is a crystal, like half the mountain that it's on is like 70% crystalline underneath.
Whoa.
Yeah, and the crystal beings are very powerful there. So you go there and you literally are like whisked away into a higher dimension.
Amazing, amazing. Wow.
So the other aspect of the Daykeeper Rite is that this is working to heal your inner feminine.
Okay.
So it's considered a feminine, so if you look at the rites, we first connected with our ancestors and healed, any lineage stuff past and future. The second rite was the bands of power, that was a protective. The third rite was connecting to power animals and archetypes. The fourth rite was opening the third eye. And the fifth rite is balancing and healing your feminine energy and connecting to these ancient power places. So they kind of make sense or follow a logical, course.
They do, and we all seem to be resonating. A lot of people I know in our circles that I've talked to seem to really be resonating, even if they're not following these rites. When you're doing it, and then that's the time everybody's resonating with that particular facet of it. It's really amazing.
So I also do astrology. I'm training. I'm not certified yet, but I'm training to be an astrologer. So I looked at the astrology for tomorrow for the feminine energy. And the two planets that would mostly, let's say, have an impact on your feminine energy is the moon and Venus.
Okay.
And the moon is in Taurus, And so our unconscious energy, everything, the healing, it's going to be very slow, very gentle, focused on the body. It could, a lot of like, but again, very slow energy, very peaceful.
Wow, what a
And
connection to the Pleiades. What a connection to the Pleiades all these things have that you're mentioning. But yeah, go on.
well, yeah, Taurus is the Pleiadian connection, isn't it?
Totally.
So with the moon there, we're really getting like a real feminine. Maybe that's what maybe we're doing a feminine Pleiadian lineage healing.
And maybe so. And you know, Sif is a Taurus, and so is my mom, and they both just had their birthdays. And how ironic is that? But you know, it's just all these synchronicities are just endless.
Yeah. And the Venus, the other planet that affects our anima or our female energy, is in Cancer. And I'm a Cancerian. And this is about, like, you know, this healing, again, the nurturing aspect of ourselves, of maybe even women being able to nurture themselves.
Yes, and step
Or
into
I shouldn't say women, people, because, you know, Larry, you have your own inner female that nurtures yourself too. So healing that, because the Cancerian is very nurturing, very protective, and very psychic.
Sounds
So
like you.
Sorry, yeah?
Yeah, I said that sounds like you.
Yeah, I'm a real Cancer. I'm a quadruple Cancerian, so I have a lot of, like, I'm very protective and I love cooking and eating.
Of course.
And of course I love the psychic arts. So I just think that this rite on Sunday, astrologically, it's going to be a very nice, gentle healing of the feminine energy.
Wow.
And the following, because the rite after this is healing our inner masculine energy, and that's the Wisdom Keeper rite. And the Wisdom Keeper, they said the wisdom was held in the high mountains, and that's why, you know, people who would be going on spiritual journeys would go to the mountains. You hear the story over and over again.
Yes, all the ascended masters would go to the mountains, absolutely, I believe.
Yeah, and that is where they'd get wisdom. So they're known as places of wisdom. And the wisdom keepers were keepers of, like, let's say the medicine teachings. This for the Cuero, like what I was saying with Alexis, each person can have their direct transmission of a wisdom in any moment, and you are the teacher of that wisdom and keeper of that wisdom in that moment. But what we're with this rite, you're connecting with wisdom keepers who have learned to step outside of time. So I assume they were able, it'd be like an ascended master who was able to go up to a higher dimension and then be able to pass on. So this rite connects you to a lineage of wisdom keepers. So there could be a lot of downloads coming on with that rite.
I think so too. I think the downloads are going to start getting really fast and furious, and I know people say that, but I really think this is just kicking off.
I think it's going to really rev up, because the astrology is confirming that too. So for the for the Wisdom Keeper rite in 2 weeks, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, it's the two planets working with our male energy is the Sun and Mars. And both are going to be in Gemini, and that is quick, fast downloads, lots of communication. I'd say that we'll be downloading a massive amount of information that weekend.
I just got chills when you said that, seriously, when you just listed Mars and Gemini.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, it's going to be, but it'll be quick.
Yes.
At least that's it'll be intense downloads, but it'll be quick. So I think, yeah, that looks good. And the other thing with the Wisdom Keeper rite is that you connect to Earth. You're connecting 3 chakras. Let me look at my notes to make sure. The solar plexus chakra is connected to Earth. And then your heart and your third eye, you're connecting with the mountain.
Wow, that's a big connection right there.
Yeah, so you're actually grounding the energy in your solar plexus. That's where your power's coming from, deep in the earth, in your solar plexus. You're connecting to Earth. And then the heart and the third eye is connecting with that divine higher wisdom that's carried in the mountain.
Man, yeah, wow, amazing. I mean, you're
It's gonna be powerful, I think. It's gonna be really, really powerful. And then the after that comes the seventh and eighth rite. I don't want to get too ahead, but
Mhm.
these rites then work with the eighth. The seventh rite is connecting to archangels and guardians of the galaxy. I love that movie, by the way.
Yes.
And the Starkeeper rite is the eighth rite, and that is also called Mosak Karpi, and that's really about evolving our DNA to Homo luminous, getting a huge DNA upgrade with that rite.
Wow.
And we have two more rites after that, but I won't go there, Larry, because it's too much information, I think.
I know I'm getting excited and ahead of myself too. Now I'm thinking about the seventh and eighth rights, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's just like amazing, amazing.
And was there anything else? I don't think I really had anything else to say. I love the group. I think the group is just amazing. All the crystal grids that everyone makes and puts together before each rite.
Yeah, aren't they amazing to see the different? It's just really amazing. I think that's one of my most favorite things too, to look at the diversity of them, and yet the same kind of power each one of them hold.
Yeah, I'd love to have a T-shirt. I want a T-shirt at the end with all the crystal grids printed on it.
Oh, with all of them, yeah, yeah. There's so many of them. Gonna have to
Uh,
make a couple of different ones. Yeah, that would be wonderful. And then even shirts with the name of your group on it. Some of these pages. I mean, this would just be amazing. Somebody needs to start a Starseed clothing line.
oh yeah, you know what? That would be a great idea.
Coffee mugs with all the
Uh-huh.
crystal grids.
Yeah, I'm a Pleiadian. Help me.
Help me! I know.
Love me.
I'm 400,000 light years from home. Help me!
Yeah.
I know. I'm disconnected.
So, yeah, oh, I know what I wanted to say, that like, the rights, as they progress, they do get lighter and lighter because like, as you go, see, you're going up into the Starkeeper rights, and then the 10th right is the Soul Star Chakra right. And I think those rights, especially for star seeds, they're so easy to download. It's more the earth-based rights, the first ones that we find harder to integrate, but you can integrate them. It's just a little bit harder for a starseed because our energy is more in line with kind of like the later rights and the rights that connect with the stars. And
yes, that's really resonating with me. I'm noticing this progression as we go up the chain of these rights. It's getting more exciting, I know, for my soul. And it seems like we're moving up the dimensions with them. You talked about grounding with, the first few of them, first couple of them, and then as we go up the right, it sounds like we're just going higher and higher into space with them, basically.
Yeah, and I think that's where you guys will shine, star seeds. And I'm really excited to see the rights to come, because I think many in the group even that we have right now, you guys will be bringing in more rights, more Munay-Ki rights, new ones.
Bringing in the dawn and the Munay-Ki rights.
New ones that have never, been here before, but you got a direct transmission.
That's the exciting part is, some of the new ones that are going to be coming in. It's just fascinating.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what people will bring in, and just to recap, the students will surpass the teacher. I think that's awesome.
I love
I'm
it.
looking forward to seeing you guys blossom and open your gifts and, really experience life as a grounded starseed.
I find that's the blue, Natalie, you wanting to being excited about that. That's totally the Blu-ray soul in both of us. That's why I do these shows, because I want to see other people shine and excel. Like, listen how great Alexa sounded on the radio. It was just awesome. And I'd like to have her back as a guest sometime.
Oh, I would too. I think I'd love to have Alexis back. If she'll come back, I definitely would like her back on the next show.
Totally, and I'd like to have Raquel and I even do a show with her as well, a full show. But I'd like to have her on this series for sure. Coming back and talking about it. I think it would just be amazing.
I think she has. I'd say Alexis could have quite a few shows in her, because she's got a lot of. She only talked about a little bit of what's going on. There's amazing stuff going on, and I think other people need to hear her story and connect with her healing abilities.
Oh, I do too. I was almost content to let her just take off and go and just flow with the whole show. And yeah, she could go off and be interesting to listen to for a long while. So it certainly is interesting. And there's others out there too as well that I'm looking forward to hearing. And maybe if nothing else, the series of these talks we're doing, Natalie, will help bring that in a little bit. Maybe more people will slowly start to be okay with having their voice heard, you know, and not just, you know, typing out what they've got to say, but having their actual voice vibration be heard.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, about how starseeds seem to have a block with promoting themselves.
Good God, I know.
Speaking out loud, but like in terms of like Facebook and commenting, no problem.
Yeah, they can do that all day long, on and on, till won't stop at the break of dawn. But for some reason, that little tiny switch to click over to have their voice heard, I don't know what they're so paranoid or shy about, because I used to be too, but we don't have time for that anymore. I mean, this is really go time, and it's just, you know, if they're worried about what other people are going to think still, well, they're really doing the rest of the Starseed community a disservice, and the world, frankly, by not having their voice heard. And I think it was incredible just Alexis coming on and sharing that story like that, because, I mean, that's what's needed. Come on, share your story, because no matter how odd it may sound, somebody, I guarantee you, is going to resonate with it totally.
Yep, and it could really help somebody.
Oh, my God. Totally.
Yeah, really, it could save a life. You know, you don't know that someone may need to hear your story.
Exactly, and my question would be too, Natalie, is really, what the hell do you have to lose, you know?
Yeah, I think I had a problem for a while. I probably still do, but I'm getting better at promoting myself. It was almost like an allergic reaction to the business model of 3D world. And
perfect. Sorry to interrupt you, but damn perfect analogy, exactly.
Yeah, it's like an allergic. No, I can't do it. Oh, I don't want to, and oh, I don't want to charge a lot of money, and I don't want. And I try to keep what I charge, you know, to be, you know, enough that I make something, but not that, you know, it's too much money for people.
You're still undercutting yourself a little bit as far as the 3D goes. So yeah, exactly. It's totally worth it. And as long as you're conscious of it, like somebody like you is, I think it's a great thing. And once you get over that fear of promoting yourself, right?
Well, you know, I don't have a dream to like accumulate a whole bunch of money. I have a dream about humanity vibrating higher and evolving.
Yeah, exactly.
Money is a side thing. I mean, I have enough to live on. I'm not starving, as they say here.
Well, that's the main thing, isn't it? Seriously, they talk about a roof over your head and food in your stomach, you know, a few amenities that we like. I mean, really, what more? That's like I feel, and I think that's the Blu-ray thing, too, and the Starseed overall, is I think that's all we're looking for, you know?
Yeah, and that's why this kind of stuff can really help. And even the stuff that you do, doing these radio shows for Starseeds, it's your business too, and it can help support them, and it's not that expensive to do.
No, not at all. I mean, it isn't at all. And most people don't realize this, but any gadget that you have that you can talk on, I mean, Skype on, Google, you can Google Hangout on, and you can do these shows. And I wish more people, even on the Pleiadian Express production staff, would do that on their own. I'd like to see some of these other people do shows together, like Victoria and Raquel by themselves, or even Alexis come on, do one with one of the two of them, or the three. You know what I mean? I want to promote. I have this format to give to people, and I want them to take advantage of them. I have an open invitation. Anybody want to do their own weekly show or show whenever, because we don't exist in time or really schedule these things that much on here, except for our shows, of course. We're scheduling, you know, but I mean, as far as just a lot of these shows are done on a whim that you'll see me do with Raquel or Victoria from time to time. And you know, come on, we'll have a ball, you know, as they say.
Yeah, and just get everyone's voices heard and spark creativity, spark inspiration among the Starseeds.
Yeah, and isn't that what it's all about and what it does? And whether that's what it's all about or not, that's certainly what it does, what you're saying. It instantly manifests that. The creativity.
Yeah. So yeah, it's exciting time. I'm very excited to be. I used to not always be. I used to think like, why was I born here? Why did I come here? Because I'm so far from home and I hate it here. But
Oh, good God, I
But
know.
it's really changed for me. I think that feeling, I'd say only in the last 2 years, because I used to have that real home longing for a long time, a real sadness that I wasn't in my home. But the last 2 years, I've been more and more excited about being here.
Yeah, I think so too. And don't you think with these, especially well, it coincides with these rights given out, but really it sure has ramped up, I would even say, in the last few weeks. For me, it's just really like, I think it's with these increasing downloads we're getting, but I'm starting to really get totally comfortable in the mode.
Yeah, more comfortable with being here and how, this world and that, like, I'm finding that I am able to manifest what I need for myself without compromising my whatever ideals or my Blu-ray way.
Exactly. I'm finding that when I'm driving my vehicle per se myself, when I'm the one driving it, I'm finding that my light is found. I'm taking a quote from a cheesy song, but through. It's like in phases. It's one thing to know it like we've always known, but then, like I say, when you get full of the feeling, when they actually get that feeling of your inner realizing it again and knowing, it's just really incredible how much it articulates and speeds up the process.
And being comfortable being here
Mhm.
on Earth is important for starseeds. That's going back to the thing about the grounded starseed. I think
Mhm.
it's something that starseeds need to work on is to feel comfortable being here and yet keeping their vibration high.
Exactly, and I think a lot of us in the past, I know Raquel and I have talked about it, and I know you and I have talked about it privately because I've had issues, Lionel, about using, we're looking for a way to do that here, and a lot of us have had a substance abuse history and
Hmm.
continue to struggle with it because we're trying to find some kind of relief or to stay grounding. But I think with all these energy downloads, it's really helping us to do it the right way, the right way, so to speak. But you know what I mean? Do it without needing those outside substances because we've got
Yeah,
all.
it's like you've got the support and security then. You've got this support and security that you didn't have before. When you get grounded, that's what it does. They actually say what grounding does is it gives you comfort, like a hug.
Yeah, exactly. It does, and you really find out. And I think you and I talked about this on the last show. You really find out that all these things that you're looking for outward to make you feel good, these superficial things, you really have all that within. Whether it's the different drug chemicals that are already in your brain that are yet to be tapped
Hmm.
into, or whether it's just self, you really have all these things within to,
Oh, you know what?
just
Actually, I'm glad because we
this would be a
talked
way to
about this
put
on the
it.
pre-show. You just sparked something. I just remembered something that we were going to talk about seeing. This is going back, sorry, to the fourth right. Um, about seeing things that more people are seeing stuff, and I got messages from
Sorry,
people
you
in the
cut
group.
out for a second.
Oh, okay. I just remembered something from what you were saying about the fourth right. That when we don't have part of like with this opening vision and with the fourth right opening our third eye and visual cortex and heart chakra is when we don't have a language to describe something that we're seeing, it actually gets blanked out of our visual experience.
Okay, hey Natalie, if you're there, are you there, Natalie?
I am, but is it not? Is it not? Am I cutting out?
Well, the connection slowed down real quick just for a few seconds. If you could kind of just recap for me what you just said. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
hon.
no, no problem, no problem. That when we don't have a word to describe something that we're seeing, even like let's say a color or whatever, if there's no word for it, we don't see it. Our brain, it's not our eye, but it's our brain blocks it out because it doesn't have a language or a word or a definition to describe it.
Right. Would it be something like seeing like a color that you'd never seen before, or like saying adding a new letter to the alphabet? Well, somebody would say, well, how could you do that? Because every sound's been taken, and every sound that you could think of is comes from a letter in the alphabet.
Yeah.
But when you don't know, I mean, there may be a color we've never seen, a letter we've never
Well,
heard
they
of.
did. There was a study, and they said that like the color blue only came into, let's say, human consciousness. I don't know. I think they were saying like, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I thought they were saying 500 years ago. Oh no, it was Egypt. So 2,000 years ago, 2 or 3. Egyptians ground up lapis lazuli and made blue. Before that, a lot of different cultures didn't have a word for blue. And a lot of the old English, let's say even, writing, even in England, would not say that the grass was green, or they'd have funny colors.
The Hopis are one of the Indian tribes. It's either the Hopis or the Mayas. One of them did not have, this is odd, they didn't distinguish between blue and green. For some reason, they don't distinguish between the two. And that made me think, they consider it one color, actually.
Yeah.
And that made me think of that when you were mentioning that.
And there are other tribes they found in Peru that can see green, colors of green that Westerners can't. It's a shade of green. But because we don't have, let's say, a name, or it's never been pointed out to us, we don't see it, where they see it quite clearly.
It's out of our consciousness, basically. And isn't that what it's all about? I think when Alexis was talking about doing the hiking with her friend, I mean, this stuff was out of her friend's consciousness.
Right. Her friend couldn't see it, couldn't connect. But as you get these rites, and even, star seeds in general, as the way that they work, they see different things because they probably have the gene, or they have the consciousness for it. But it's finding the definition and getting, confidence that, okay, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm experiencing, and I'll label it this or call it that, and being confident with that.
Exactly. And, I just got a feeling come into me right now. If Alexis is listening to this right now, I get this feeling that just totally, she's like foaming at the mouth wanting to respond to that, because I feel I feel like she could probably go on forever about that. But
come on, Alexis.
Yeah.
I'm listening. Hola.
Hi.
I'm laughing, cracking myself up with you guys as you're laughing.
Hey, synchronicity totally abound, and I just love the way that you articulate, Alexis. I think that Natalie was talking about passing to the new generation, to students who are becoming better teachers than we could ever be, and just the way some of the other people articulate things, Natalie. I think we're just getting to be old and slow or something.
I know. They're just amazing.
It's just really just phenomenal. So, yeah.
Yeah, so Alexis, tell us, what were you thinking there about that?
I just totally spaced out and lost it.
A true starseed, a true Pleiadian starseed.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Larry, I loved your comment about your T-shirt idea about I'm a starseed. Help me! I'm how many light years away? I love that. That would be funny.
Exactly. Well, we've had the idea, Sif and I, for a while in Victoria about doing mugs of the Pleiadian Light Grid Project, one of Pleiadian Express Productions, and even for the different groups, whether it be UK or the Shaman Healers and Light Workers of Natalie's coffee mug shirts. But I like that idea. You're right. You just gave me another idea with the help. I'm 400,000 light years from home.
Well, it's so true though. But connecting with the groups, oh my God, how validating. You do feel like you're just completely alone in the universe out here until you connect to, finding the group. I was like, wait, what am I? What is this?
Oh, totally. And you realize that there's other people out there that think like you do. And it's really exciting because either this is all real or we're all going crazy on some...
But at least we're going crazy together.
Some crazy coincidence that could never happen, and that would be more incredible than even the truth. So...
Oh, no, there's too many things. I mean, I think I've seen 1,000, things, and I'm like, oh, my God, I never had the word for that. Or it's definitely felt like I have family on Earth.
Yeah.
Nice.
Totally. That's how to really just sum it up, is basically it's like feeling family, real family, the true meaning of the word.
Yeah, absolutely, totally feels like
finding our star family. I mean, that's why I called my group my star family, because I feel like, you guys are my star family here.
Oh,
I'm so glad to meet you guys.
Oh, me too. And without the internet, this wouldn't have been possible. And I think it's just incredible. We've really used it to our advantage. And it goes along, Natalie, with what you're saying about marketing. I mean, we have all these tools at our disposal to use in 3D, and it's not that hard. It's just getting over that guilt complex or that what were you using the analogy that you didn't, felt like an allergic reaction almost?
Allergic reaction to 3D business
Yeah, that's
practices or whatever.
Yeah, because we're so anti-corporate by soul in our soul and
Yes.
anti-controlling corporate, but yet when it's done in a good way, I mean, without human greed, whether it's communism, socialism, capitalism, all those isms would be great if it weren't for human greed. You know what I mean? But then again, we wouldn't need something like that either if the consciousness was at that level. So.
But Alexis, I'd love you to do a show with Larry, just talking about all your experiences, just to have a chat, a Pleiadian talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. It'd be really awesome. What's so funny is because as I'm meeting more and more people with the groups, and I'm like discovering more of my own history, and I'm like, oh, wait, I've had that experience, or I've had this experience. I'm like, oh, I've been doing that for years, and I didn't even have the words for a lot of this stuff, and I'm finding the words now. I like that you just talked about that, by the way.
Yeah, that's great tie-in, because that is, we will do things and we don't have a word, or we don't even realize we're doing anything special until it gets defined or described to us. The language then tends to connect us, and we say, oh yeah, okay, that's what I was doing, or that's what I'm seeing.
It's been, I would love to definitely come back. Well, thank you, definitely, I would love to.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, I would too, and we'll maybe schedule it for some. I'm going to be kind of busy with SIF the rest of this month, but I would like to really as soon as possible, or maybe even earlier, because I've got an idea. What I'm thinking of just producing the show, and I'd really like if maybe Victoria and Raquel, or one of the two of them, or both together, would host the show with you. So, but we'll work on that and have that manifest later if it's meant to be. So, but definitely, I'd like to have you back more and more, and I'd like to have you back on the rest of this series a little bit.
Yeah, I'd love to have you back next week, Alexis, and talk about this next rite.
Absolutely, because I'm like, I know like amazing things are going to happen to me, and I'm like, oh my God, guess what happened?
Yay!
Yeah. Hey, Larry, I just wanted to say that I think that encouraging and empowering other starseeds, because it's just kind of difficult, I think that's a really good idea. Of just like, okay, come on for like a minute, and okay, that wasn't so bad, But I think that's a really, that's part of the reason why I wanted to go on this show and talk, is because I know how powerful and healing it is to help, hear the stories. That's definitely, I'm like you, Natalie, like that's my big vision too, is just seeing, the whole planet just raising their vibration and getting better.
And we all need to raise our vibration. It's not just, I want to raise my vibration and make $1 million.
Yeah, I want to just raise it right now and make $1 million. That's so super simple. But Alexis, if you find people might get nervous about coming on air, but I'll just come on for a minute. They can look at it that way. I'm just going to come on for a minute, but then you get relaxed after that minute. It really gets, you know what I mean? Once you talk, you get into that flow, and it's really no big deal, honestly.
I kind of feel like I'm a spiritual, like a political activist, and I've used Facebook and technology as a platform to really heal, and just kind of like, I feel like we have a shame epidemic, and so I kind of like, I've used like even the groups, just I want to live in a world where we can be really like, candid and honest about things. And so, I mean, sometimes I will post things just because I'm like, God, we're so uptight, like, God, we just need to get, everyone just doesn't express themselves. So I try to push myself a little bit.
Exactly, and we should be able to express ourselves any way we want to, at the same time with no intention of hurting or purposely offending others. Now, because if you offend somebody because of how you feel, then that's their issue or their problem. But I mean, I really think too, some people need to quit wearing their heart on a sleeve and taking it so personal. Who cares what somebody else said? You have really no right to come back at them with an insult. And I agree, and I agree with you totally, Alexis, on that point.
I just feel like that's how we get healing. Maybe there's some ugly things that need to come out, but that's how we heal.
And with our star family, it's sometimes easier to come out than with our Earth family.
Come out, yeah, come out of the closet. You're a star seed, admit it.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh my God, that's the T-shirt. Come out of the closet. You're a star seed.
There you go. Get rid of the shame epidemic. I like that, Alexis. The shame epidemic we have.
Yeah.
There seems to be one among some star seeds who seem to be kind of flatlined, but
just in the world, though, like you see all these people, like all these suicides that have been really talked about in the public. I just feel like that's part of it's a contributing factor, is that people, their souls are just trapped. That's another reason why I love the Munay-Ki. I feel like it helps you release your soul. you know?
Oh, yeah,
Love
definitely.
that.
And the last rite is about really bringing more of your soul energy down.
Oh my God. Every week I'm just going to be like, this is awesome. I'm so excited.
You'll be flying
Like,
around by the end.
Yeah, it kind of helps you fly out of that trap, really, I think. It kind of helps you fly out of that trap. I hate to use a label, but okay, the Matrix, I'll just say it for people who may not know what the hell I'm talking about, which is most of the time, but it really helps you fly out of that trap that you get into of running in a circle like a maze down here in 3D and just spinning your hills and burning yourself out, you know. I really think that it helps ground you, but it helps take you to the stars as well, these rites. That's just
Yeah,
oh
spiritual work could be it could be more draining.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
oh, good God.
You have to, from any shaman, any teacher, any guidance I've gotten, it's always been, cleanse and ground after you do a healing. Cleanse yourself of any energy that may have been released by the person, and then ground yourself so that you don't get sick. Because when I first started doing healing, I don't know, 8, 9 years ago, I used to get sick all the time after doing healing, and I had to stop because I was like, okay, this isn't right. Why, if I'm healing someone and then I'm getting sick, what's the point in that?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
And
my
he,
God, Natalie, how did you do this all at once? I was like, oh my God, how did she do that? Oh
yeah,
my God.
amazing. And Natalie, I wanted to ask you too, and this would be my
Mhm.
advice, just as my opinion for people, as far as when they're doing the spiritual work or whether they're working on these rites, like we've talked about. People, I think, need to really detach from the mentality that they have to follow some kind of a syllabus, or they have to get worried about a label, or this is how this person does it, this is how that person does it.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
you really
there's,
need to
thank you
detach
for
from
bringing
that.
that up.
Hmm.
There's so many, like there's different people who are promoting the Munay-Ki Rites. The Munay-Ki Rites are from the Cuero people. And each tribe of there's many different tribes there in Peru, up in the Sacred Valley. And each one would have maybe even their different lineage or slightly different way of passing it on. So there really isn't one set way, and maybe you follow from the Munay-Ki organization that this is the way they do it, great. But, it is open. There are other ways to transmit it. And, that's why I decided, I've been wanting to transmit the Munay-Ki rights to more people for years, but because it was person to person,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was really hard. And then I just had the brainwave, whatever, a month ago. I was like, you know what? I've been doing Reiki for years. I could send these rights to people,
Hell yeah.
wherever they are. Why
Wow.
do we have to have this as a block? Why does distance have to be a block?
I bet that was an
Mhm.
aha moment for you. I bet
It
that was like
was.
yeah, like,
And I was a bit nervous, I'll admit. I was like, God, I hope people feel it. The same things, I hope it works. And because I'd never done it before. But the response has been great.
yeah, I knew it would be. I mean, I've known it, and I've said it again. The first time that we ever talked on N5D on Cosmic Awakening show about a year ago, when you did that chakra reading for me, I mean,
Mm.
I was sold on you right there, girl. And I knew
Boom,
this would
boom.
work. Yeah, and isn't it about timing, really? Even though we exist in no time, I mean, that came to you right in the moment. Like I've been doing Reiki all these years. Hell, I could do this distance healing, and it came to you at the right time. Obviously, that
Yeah, I was like, wow, why didn't I do this, earlier? But now I'm here and I'll be doing more events, and I hope more people can do it either in person. I mean, of course, in person, some people like that better because they actually want to physically receive the right and they want to see. But if you're open, and a lot of the star seeds are very open to distance transmission because they are more connected to the no time, no space, no, the oneness. And the transmissions are very easy with them, with star seeds.
Hey, Natalie.
Hmm.
Oh, I wanted to say something, but it also coincides even with modern science. You think of, quantum physics. It says everything in this energy, and you know what I mean? So it makes even logical sense that, of course, why would distance be an issue?
Exactly. It's your intention. It's like you know, you're setting it off, and then I just use the Reiki. I mean, Reiki is so powerful, and the more people that use Reiki, it's already a set system of transmission, of transmitting healing. So I use something that's in place that has a foundation too already, and then your just intention is pushing it towards the person through the Reiki ray.
Exactly. I think Alexis just kind of expanded on the small comment I was going to make, and that is, Natalie, that, you know, you mentioned some of these people, like it's important to them to be in person and to receive these rites in person. Well, I'm not sure all their intentions, but my advice to them would be, I hope that it's just not that they're caught up and having to have this done in person, right? I hope they're open to the fact that it is a quantum universe and these things can be done distance-wise too. And if I just would hope that their reasoning is not solely just, well, I just feel like I have to have it done in person. I mean, I hope that they understand it can be, or they'd be willing to try doing some of these things through distance healing and open themselves up to finding somebody they resonate with, such as you, or maybe it's somebody else.
Or
you know?
one of the people in, I mean, I can't wait till like Alexis or other people are passing on the rights and doing their own events. And
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
you know, and just then they'll see, it's like, again, the ripple effect. People all over, you know, opening up, learning, and maybe there'll be other ways to pass on the rights too, new ways.
That'll be exciting, won't it? And that's kind of a great thing too, waiting for those new, you know, what's to come from the students. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, I did have some people that were a bit upset with the way that I was doing it, and I do apologize to them, but there really isn't a set way. You know, I'm following some of the Munay-Ki organization guidelines, but I do add my own things to it, but I'm using my intuition, and I feel comfortable doing it, and I'm getting a good response. So,
yes. Well, I would say to those people, we're so sorry. Yeah, Uncle Albert. No, but I'm just saying that exactly. You know, yeah, that's their thing. They'll find their way. You've got your way, and a lot of people like your way. So in their way, and
you know what?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Here's something. I think there's just so much dogma, and then you have practitioners of other different types of healing modalities that, you know, have spent thousands of dollars. They train in Nepal or wherever it is, Tibet. You know, they've done all this stuff, but they're like, I've noticed that some of those people, they're sometimes the hardest ones, like, to get them to wrap their head around something new sometimes.
Oh, good Lord, amen.
You know,
yeah, they become dogmatic. You use that word, and it's true. Yes. It's like, this is the book. The book is here, and this is what's written in the book. And it's like, but there's empty spaces in the book too, and space around the letters. Let's write our own story in. Hey,
Alexis, do you think that with those people that they get to the point where they're so hung up on just the word, the name of their religion or their practice, the guidelines, do you think that they get so hung up on that they completely lose perspective on what it's all about?
Oh, absolutely, completely. I think that's what's wrong with religion. Like, I believe in freaking everything, which, you know, if you really have a dogmatic view on anything, I might really aggravate you because I believe in everything. And I'm like, and there's always going to be new things. And you're like, what?
Everything you could ever think of or imagine is true, right? In a endless parallel reality. So, yeah, totally.
Well, I was talking to someone yesterday, and he's a practitioner some kind of Buddhist. He does the Tibetan bowl, so sound healing, which is also really awesome. And I was telling him, oh man, I'm doing this, I'm doing the Munay-Ki Rites, and I just got this other energetic healing, and it's distance. And he's like, what? That doesn't exist. And I'm like, oh yeah, it does. And he was just like, no way, there's no way, I don't believe it. Can they move? What did he say? He said something about moving a ball in the air, and I'm like, why would I ask them to do that? That's
no, I cannot move a ball in the air.
Someday, hopefully.
One day.
Yeah, exactly. But, well, it may not exist in his world, but for you it does. So that's great.
Well, to me, I told him, I was like, you know, if you don't believe in something, I mean, that's part of the problem. If you don't believe in something, then you can't really perceive it.
That's the whole thing about magic. People want magic in their lives, but if they don't believe in magic, how is it going to exist in their lives?
Yeah. Exactly, and they want a quick. What their concept of magic is, they want something instantly. Oh, we'll just make this happen. I mean, you know, and they're really not even believing in it. So it's really, yeah, exactly.
But Reiki has the same thing.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry?
Go ahead. Reiki.
No, yeah,
Oh no,
I
no.
was just going to say that Reiki had the same thing with that some people will transmit the Reiki initiations, like through DVD or through distance. And at first, a lot of people struggled with that, but I think it's more accepted now.
Exactly.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. And what were you going to say, Alexis, about that, about the distance?
Oh no, this guy had said, "Can you walk on water?" I'm like, I definitely can't do that.
Yeah.
But I just think, isn't that crazy? I was like, I didn't even understand what he was trying to say, and I'm like,
Yeah.
they're healers, and they're trying to walk on water.
And then,
You
like,
know?
sometimes I find that that the Buddhists can be extremely dogmatic,
Oh
which
yeah, he's Buddhist.
can seem is really a paradox.
It is.
Exactly.
It
All
is. I'm like,
Buddhism is about the nothingness and being at ease with
Isn't
it.
that from a hey, yeah?
Okay.
Isn't that from a stereotype? Really, kind of that is a strange paradox because you think of the dogmatic, and the first thing I know that pops into my mind is people involved in a Christian-based religion. Not to offend anybody, but I think of that, and
totally.
you don't think of somebody being Buddhist initially unless you've known or dealt with them. You don't think about them. That wouldn't be the first thing that would come to mind as far as if you're looking for dogmatic religious.
Well, I think it's anyone who gets too caught up in the belief system. And like I'm like Alexis, I believe kind of everything. And I'll believe something, and a year later, I'll be like, oh no, I don't resonate with that anymore.
It's purely a resonation and an energy thing. It's not good or bad, any of this. It's purely an energy and a resonance completely. And you always have to think in your mind in every now moment, think in your heart center, and not let your belief system dictate, well, I'm not going to think of it, do this because somebody said that, or this is what it says. Well, who gives a shit what it says? What do you say?
Yeah, and the whole thing of labeling negative energies, I try not to use that word. I try to say heavier and lighter.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
As kind of like as it feels in you, because like an energy that's heavy for me may feel very light for someone else.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're awakened enough not to say to that person, well, it shouldn't feel heavy to you, or like, you know what I mean?
Can you walk on it? Will it hold you?
Yeah, can you walk on water? Yeah, that, Alexis, that question in and of itself, can you walk on water, that tells you all you would need to know about the level where he's at.
Yeah, it's actually kind of rude, it's kind of that offhanded kind of, sidelining.
Yeah, I was just like, hey, this is kind of intense. I'm like, I'm just telling you this awesome thing that just happened to me.
Yeah. And ironically, if you did walk on water, Alexis, it still wouldn't convince them.
True.
Natalie, I was going to share something. What you just talked about was one person's light and one person's heavy. I think we both, we're both Year of the Snake, and I'm very comfortable with the snake. But some people really are freaked out by it. I understand it both ways. So I'm like, oh, I don't see it that way.
No, I don't. I've taken care of snakes, and I've had snakes wrapped around me. I love like playing, touching them. I think they're so smooth. I think they're so beautiful. But I think it's maybe the Bible, going back to the Bible stories.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And the Anunnaki being reptilian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, reptilian, that's what it is. Okay, that's what freaks people out.
It is.
I think it's connected. They kind of think of the snakes and the reptiles as like, okay, I won't say the word, you jerk.
It's going to wrap around and it's going to choke your chakras.
Over our planet for gold.
Yeah, that ties in, Natalie. That's really helped. These rites, I think, have really helped me with that, because we had talked about that in one of the shows, or the first one was about a lot of us Pleiadian starseeds, we have a problem with the snake because we feel like it's reptilian based, and it's something in our innate that makes us think that, and we get into this thought of it maybe choking our kundalini or chakra. But really, this has kind of helped me open up to accept it for what it is. So yeah, I'm kind of one of those people that had a scare about it, a little bit of a apprehension towards them. But
woo! Larry was scared of the snake. No.
How about leery? How about leery would be a better word.
Larry was leery.
Larry was very leery. Larry was very leery of the scary snake. Yeah.
Now say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, right. Scary Larry was very Larry. Yeah, there you go. We'll do it once, but I just totally agree, and I'm looking forward to these races. And I really feel like the 7th and 8th, we won't go down the road too much, but I felt really like that's going to be like a boom too.
Yeah, the last, let's say, 4 rites are really lighter, and they're more kind of like higher dimensional energies, less earth-based.
Love it. I love it. Let's get the hell off Earth. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
And yet ground there at the same time. We're going to ground on Earth, and we're going to leave it too. There we go.
Exactly, and that is a huge paradox, because that's what all the spiritual teachings say. The more inwards you go, the more outwards you go.
Exactly.
So grounded star seeds, come on.
Come on, let's do it. Let's ground and get into space and be multidimensional and all, completely all within. There you go, another cliche, it's all within. But really what's going to happen is one day down the road, we'll all just wake up and we were just one existence. We'll be like, oh, hi, you were me, I was you. We were all just this one. You know what I mean? When we open to that consciousness. But that's way ahead. I'm getting, that's probably that'd be the 1,000th Munay-Ki Rites if they had them.
Anyway, I think I'm done. I'm excited. I don't have anything more to add. I'm looking forward to the rite tomorrow. I have my usual, I have like a little thing that I do. I prepare sacred space, and then I'll always post after I do the rite in the group. I post what messages and how I felt the rite transmitted, and it'll be 1 o'clock Irish time tomorrow.
That's 1 o'clock Irish time. That would be 5 a.m. here on the West Coast.
You guys will be sleeping.
Yes, yeah. Well, maybe on the East Coast they might be awake for it, but we'll be sleeping, receiving those rights. And Natalie, like I do with every show, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody where they can find Natalie Alaya on the wonderful
Yes, thank you, Larry. I have my website, www.alayahealingservices.com, and you can purchase readings, land healings, Munay-Ki Rites. If you want to do it one-on-one with me, distance transmission, I do shamanic healings, all that kind of stuff is on there. And I have a Facebook page, alayahealingservices.com, or Shamanka Alaya, and the Voice of Shamanka, a community page. And my group, my Pleiadian and Star Family, Healers, Shamans, and Lightworkers group.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, Alexis, why don't you give yourself a plug if you want to? Where in the hell?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, where can people find you in the wide world web?
I'm just now, like I said, just coming into the community, kind of discovering a lot of having all these epiphanies about where I'm at right now. And I'm actually writing a lot right now. I have a blog. It's whitelightninja.wordpress.com, and I just started it. And I'm also on Instagram, but I'm hoping there might be a book later.
Okay, cool. So what I usually do when I post these, I'm going to post a show. If you want, when you see it posted in certain groups, why don't you go ahead and put the blog link in a comment? So
yeah, on the post, when he posts this show, you do your Instagram, or even give your Instagram and your blog details.
If you want to. Okay. Exactly.
And so that people can connect through the post that they know, and they'll connect with you through that.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay, well, I think that sounds great.
Should we give a big kiss, a big Pleiadian kiss, or what do you say?
You read my mind. You read my mind. I was going to tell everybody that, of course, you can find me on Facebook at all the various Pleiadian groups, Pleiadian Express Productions, which is also a YouTube and a Google channel. I'd like to plug the Pleiadian Light Grid Project. Thank the great Admiral Leah Shapiro for the mothership group, the Pleiadians. And so many other people out there, Victoria Pleiadian, Raquel Toombs, Lionel Anderson, Sif Gunner's daughter, Judith Zavala, and on and on and on, Sierra Morris, Cynthia Voltaire, all the admins in the Pleiadian group, too many to name and too many regional admins to name. But this is, of course, Rocken, Larry, Locken, sending everybody off with a big cosmic dating game kiss. Mwah. Mwah. Da, 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 da.
Bye.
Bye.